Hopefully we're up. Stream has now started apparently, but I keep getting error messages on the computer at the moment. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain. So, okay. Well, it is what it is. It'll be fine. Okay, so I hope you had a good day today. For those of you who couldn't make it to Laura's party, it was Laura's birthday party tonight. So happy birthday, Laura. It's her 40th birthday, and she's been going on for years, literally saying that Thursday night, her 40th is going to be on a Thursday night, and she's going to go to No Tanks on her 40th, and we're going to have a party. And then nobody could have thought that lockdown would have happened, but it's great. We had an online meeting for her. So for those of you who don't know who Laura is, she helps out at all the sessions. She's been a member for years and years and years, just I don't know what we'll do without her on a Thursday. Actually, she runs some of the sessions when I'm not there. She's always there every week with new ideas, and if you've been on a Thursday and you don't know who Laura is, she's the one that when I'm at the end of the pool and I say, "Oh, just one person go down the other end for this exercise," she'll just go two people. He's got it wrong again, and then two people go, and usually, no, in fact, every time I've got it wrong and she's got it right. I should have sent two people. So so that's Laura. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed the day. We set that up, and that was good. So hopefully everybody has watched yesterday's session, because I'm kind of moving on from yesterday's session. Somebody actually put a question to me about equalization. In fact, two people put questions to me about equalization. So last night's session was my visualization of a deep free immersion dive, and every step that I go through when I'm visualizing it, and trying to remember every step before the dive, so months before the dive, working through every step so I know what I'm going to do, and then visualize it. So on the day of the dive, it's already locked in my subconscious what order things happen. And so hopefully you saw that last night. If you haven't, you can always go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. It's on my channel. And a couple of people asked me about equalization. And I thought I'd do the visualization first before talking about the equalization, because I wanted you to understand how often we have to think about it. Now, if I'm filming and we're in 5 meters of water, say if we're at in Dive for Life, and we're just doing a quick dive in Dive for Life, I can hands-free equalize, so I won't really think about it too much. 5 meters, I'll be down filming. But any more than that, and it is my focal point of the dive. If I can relax, if I can equalize, I can relax, and if I can relax, I can equalize, and this kind of goes across. So even if it's not particularly deep, much deeper than 5 meters, I'm consciously relaxing the shoulders, consciously softening the shoulders and the spine, and getting that chin position, because otherwise I won't be able to equalize. And it's all about that. And then when we go much deeper, my feedback about how my body is in the equalization. So if we're going quite deep and I'm having problem equalizing, then I know my relaxation's not there, or my flexibility is not there, or my technique's not there, and so the three go together. It's always strength, technique, flexibility. They're the three things that we have with freediving all the time. And my feedback comes from the equalization. So one of the questions was how to get into an equalization position, if that makes sense. So there's various situations. If you are going to be doing no fins and taking no fins fairly seriously, you will be considering wearing a nose clip and no goggles or fluid goggles, or if you've been to Dive for Life with us, sometimes we have the pipe mask there, and the idea is that it allows you to wear a nose clip so your hands are free, so you can do a nice stroke and keep equalizing. You can do no fins without a nose clip. We just do the stroke, hand comes up, equalize. We do another stroke, and then hand comes up and equalize. And you do it every single stroke because the hands are working in tandem. That means every single stroke you want to get the hand back up. Now you'll also note, interestingly, that as I equalize, I'm really conscious of getting my elbow in. Yeah, the arm should be along the body for the equalization, and this is just my natural equalization. When I demonstrate equalization, this is where it comes to. Okay, but you will see people equalizing like this, and as soon as you do this, two things one, there's tension pulling the arm out, but two, this is a massive surface area and you'll see them start spinning around the rope, okay, because it's going to drag on this side and slow you down and you're going to spin around. So it's super important that you get used to this position, okay, and you can practice this as you're doing depth walks, or if you're walking around the house. Kiri said to me earlier that she's just in the office and just needed to equalize, and she just kind of popped her ears, and bam, if you need to pop your ears, you can do it hands free, dry, that's fine, but still just get used to this position, okay, not this position. This is equalization, this is nothing. Okay? So again, this is something we can practice and get drilled as our standard kind of position, and also look at videos. And when you see videos of people, whether they're snorkeling or freediving or spearfishing, whichever, see where their arm is. And it sounds so simple, but you'll be surprised how many videos you see where people elbow are out, and it should be here. Okay? So if you've got no fins, you really want to be looking at using a nose clip. Equally well, maybe free immersion. You want to be looking at a nose clip, but your hands are working independently, which means as you're pulling down, you can always have a quick equalization with the other hand. So it's not so important to have a nose clip. Okay, this is all if you can't do hands free. Obviously, if you can do hands free, you can equalize anywhere. And I think I put a link up actually of a deep dive when we were talking about chest flexibility with me on a sled, and you can hear me unpacking as I'm going down. I'm hand free. I've got a mask on, but I'm hands free, and you can hear the unpacking and where that starts, etc., etc. Again, timing of unpacking. If you can, it has to be if you unpack and then equalize. Two reasons. One is physically unpacking gets the air that you need to equalize, so you need to unpack before you can equalize. But also, if you can't unpack, then that's the limit of your flexibility. You should be thinking about stopping the dive. Okay, if the fish are right there, then maybe you can maybe get another equalization out if you've got a little bit of air left, and kind of go a couple of meters. Well, it depends how deep you are. But if you can't unpack, that's pretty much where you're going to finish that dive. Of course, if you can't unpack, you still have got the option to drop the shoulders, relax, spine, chin tucked in, and then try again. And you may get another equalization, another unpack out. But the standard still stands. Standard still stands that if you can't unpack, then that's the limit of your flexibility, and that's where you stop that dive. Okay. So free immersion, we're using the hands independently, so we can change hands as we're pulling. It's fine. On constant weight, we're not using the hands at all, so there's no reason why you can't dive even in the basic position on the way down, keeping the hand in and equalizing for the first 10 meters at least. So hands out, duck dive, hand comes in. Okay, so duck dive, hand comes in to equalize, and for the first 10 meters as you're going down, chin in, equalize, equalize, equalize. From 10 to 20, you may find it advantageous to put your hands up, okay, and bring it down for equalization, and then you bring it when you break form, wherever depth that is, the hand comes down, and for me, the rope always goes on the left-hand side. So, So for me, the hand on the top of the thigh. Okay, so there's a small hole here, and the rope goes down, touching the shoulder and the top of the wrist. Okay, and the rope goes through there. So we know if my hips come forwards, I feel it on my wrist. If my chest goes forward, I can feel it on my shoulder. So that's the free fall position. And the other hand, bam, equalization. Okay. So that's my position. I like to equalize with my right hand. I can equalize with my left hand. I can easily equalize with my left hand. Don't get caught up with the left or right. I just happen to be right-handed, and so I always have the rope on the left hand. Okay. It's possibly more because of the turn, because I grab the rope with the left hand and then I can reach out with my right hand. Possibly even, usually I've got a camera in this hand. But again, I can hands free, so that still allows me to get into a free fall position with the camera in my right hand, left hand on the rope. And with a camera, you'll tend to find it's slightly heavy, so I'll have it out in front of me. Okay. If I have to equalize with the camera, then I'll equalize with my left hand and right hand. So that was a direct question that somebody asked about positions with equalization, positions of hands. You've got to think about what you're doing and the objectives of the dive. And how to put that in. So I'm going to show a quick film that we shot. Was it earlier in this year? Oh, was it in February? So the last time we went for Dive for Life, and it shows some no fins. Okay, in Dive for Life, it's only a quick film, so I'll just show that so you can have a look at how the boys are doing it. Oh, it froze. Okay, so you can watch that back and see, obviously both the guys are wearing masks, so they have to equalise. Both of them are really strong no-finners, and of course they had no wetsuits on. Okay, so that gave them plenty of time after that first pull. Good duck dive by both of them, really good pull, and then they had plenty of time to equalise. You see, it's interesting, Owen's head is up because he's trying to spot where he's going to go to, and Marco's head's a little bit not looking up as much because all he's got to do is follow the feet of Owen, which is quite an interesting point. See, Owen's head comes up, he comes in for the equalisation, and then we go down. Okay, so I just thought I'd show that. Before going a little bit technical, now I will finish on time. I will give you time to go and clap at 8 o'clock. Honest. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the mechanics of equalizing. Okay, so if we have a look at the ear here, so we have the outer ear and the ear canal. Now water's traveling in the ear canal and stops at the eardrum, the tympanic membrane. Okay, inside is the middle ear, so the eardrum separates the outer ear, the ear canal, from the middle ear. Okay. The inner ear is no concern of ours at all. Okay. So if you notice, going from the middle ear is a eustachian tube. Now if you've done the open water course, you'll remember my biscuit jar. Maybe I'll get it out for another live stream. And the eardrum, the tympanic membrane, is moving in and out. When there's water pushing on it, it pushes inwards, and then we put air into that middle ear, and it relieves the pressure on the eustachian tube, on the eardrum. And we are always trying to have soft equalization. Now, soft equalization means we open the eustachian tubes. So there's 4 muscles that go around the eustachian tube, and we're trying to open them up. And this happens when we swallow, it happens when we yawn, and now we're dry for lockdown. It's super time to be practicing our soft equalization. So you can do it now. You just start yawning and you hear a little crack in one ear, both ears. That means both eustachian tubes have opened up. They're just sticky tubes and they've just opened up. If you yawn, you can hear them open up. Right? If you want to know if they're still open, make a noise and you can hear it loud in your head, like when you're yawning. Right? Equally well, when you swallow, you can just hear it. It's not usually as loud when you're swallowing because you're using a lot of other muscles. But when you're yawning, you're dropping the jaw and the muscles are all opening up, which means the muscles around the eustachian tube are opening up. Okay? So these are muscles opening. So we can strengthen these muscles by opening them regularly and keeping them open. Okay? So that's the strength exercise. We want to open them and keep them open. So for as long as you can, keep them open. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Then we want to be able to control them independently. So the way we do this is you keep open eustachian tubes, hear the crackle. Make a noise so you know that the eustachian tubes are still open. And then do various things with your mouth. For instance, shut your mouth, open your mouth. But keep the eustachian tubes open. Stick your tongue out. And ultimately, if you can open eustachian tubes and keep them open while you're talking, then you have got independent control over the muscles around the eustachian tube. Okay? You have independent control of the muscles around the eustachian tube. Now, there's loads of books out there, there's loads of YouTube videos out there, and they go into massive detail about what the muscles are called and how you control them, but you don't need any of that. All you need is that crackle when you swallow or when you yawn, they're open. Yawn, and if you hear it loud in your head, they're still open. That's it. And then try and do other things. Now, we've got at least, in the UK, we've got at least 3 weeks, possibly 4 weeks more of lockdown. Okay, you can be doing this for minutes at a time. Keep open eustachian tubes, keep them open. Try and talk. At first, you'll feel, because the eustachian tubes are attached to the top of the soft palate at the back of the mouth, you'll find when you open eustachian tubes and try and talk, you'll start talking a little bit like this because you're trying to tense the muscles. Okay. Eventually, okay, you can isolate the muscles that you're using to open the eustachian tubes, okay, which will allow you to talk normally with them open. So, in the words of Aaron Solomon, I'm doing it now. I've literally got my eustachian tubes open, and it sounds really weird to me. I don't know whether you can hear the difference, but my eustachian tubes are open, and now it's kicking off a yawn, which is absolutely fine. Doesn't matter if it kicks off a yawn, that's fine. It may sound a bit weird to you, definitely sounds weird to you, might sound weird to other people, especially when you start it, but seriously, this is the biggest thing you can do to help your equalization. Okay, open eustachian tubes. Even if you can't do hands-free equalization after you've been doing these exercises, you will have easier equalization. I guarantee it. Okay, so Federico Mana, I went, and literally, I know I've got 5 minutes left. So I went to his book launching. I went to Italy for a dive show, and he was there with Umberto, and he was releasing his first book, Equalisation Techniques for Freediving. And in his book, and I bought it, I went on a Saturday, I bought the book, and I read it in one night. I just read it. I don't know how, it still impresses me now, but I did read it in one night. Went back next day and said, dude, there was a mistake in your book. I was so rude. Dude, this brand new book you're here to release, it says in here, and he'd said, hands-free equalizing is, you can't learn it. You cannot learn hands-free equalizing. It's something you're born with. And I said, dude, that's wrong. You can learn it. And he said, well, I've been trying and I can't, etc., etc. So we went out the back of the dive show and we sat in a little parking area just on these concrete bollards, and I taught him these exercises. I said, this is how you hands-free equalize. Do this and, you'll be able to do it. And he went, okay, well, thanks for teaching me. Don't believe you. Fine. A couple of months later, maybe 3 months later, I happened to be in Egypt and at Only One Dive, freediving center, and now Freediving World. And Federico turned up and he said, Marcus, I've got an apology to make. You're right. I hands-free equalized. I did it to the bottom of the pool and I did it. I learned how to hands-free equalize. You're correct. So there you go. And that's all you need to do. Hear the pop, hear the noise, and then start controlling them independently. Keep them open for 30 seconds. Away you go. After that, creating the pressure, okay, is the next step, which we've already dealt with the ETT, okay? But you have to stop the air coming out of your nose, okay? So you can block the hand with the nose with a hand, or you can just gently use the pressure of the mask to stop the air coming out of the nose. And if you can open those eustachian tubes, that's how you do hands-free. It's not truly hands-free because you need a mask or something, just creating a little bit of pressure on the nose, but that's it. And I'll talk about that in a different session, getting the pressure. But that's the main part, is opening eustachian tubes, keeping them open. Okay, so that's 3 minutes to 8 by my clock, so it's 2 minutes to 8 when you get this, when you finish the stream. So I believe we're going outside for a clap. It's a regular Thursday thing, I believe. So if you want to go for a run, do it now. Come in, run into your street as everybody's cheering you as you come in. It'd be hilarious. Any questions, put them in the comments, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow night. Okay, thank you very much.